Hey guys, so I am just leaving a big box store, home improvement store that shall not be named, and it's busy. And not only that, I look so shaggy, I either need to get myself a haircut or start getting some hair ties. I have to go raid my wife's hair tie stash. Keep this stuff. It's just a little ridiculous these days. But that has absolutely nothing to do with what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm leaving here because I got a day job, and apparently I'm essential because I'm still working. Got to get stuff done, which is fine with me because got to get stuff done, got to make some money while the money making is good. So what I was really wanting to talk about, if I can avoid the Land Rovers trying to run into me. If we had talked about some of this stuff 6 months ago, how many people would have even believed it? If 6 months ago someone was to tell you that they were going to count how many people can go into the store and you got to wait in line outside and everybody's wearing masks and gloves and you couldn't get anywhere, aside from the toilet paper, but Y2K was the same thing for that, even though nothing came of it. Who would have believed them? Would you have believed people if they were telling you that? Because there's a whole lot of people I know that wouldn't have believed it for nothing. There's people that still won't believe stuff that I'm telling them. And you think at this point, maybe people would start to wake up a little bit. Maybe they would start to realize, times are changing a little bit, and we're to the point now where there's no going back to normal as you used to know it. Everybody's talking about the new normal. When they're talking about when is this going to be over, when are we going to get back to normal, it's the new normal. And what is the new normal going to look like? We can get into whether or not you like it and whether or not you think it's right and a whole lot of this stuff going on. But let's just focus on one thing for a minute. Let's kind of hone in on that. And what is going on? Would you have believed this if somebody told you 6 months ago? It's one thing when everybody panics real quick and cleans out the grocery stores like there's a hurricane coming or some other big disaster. But then the ongoing, everything that's going on, now we're talking years before we get back to normal. The economic, what do we want to call it? The economic situation we're in and the direction it's headed. A lot of people are still in the camp of we need to stay inside and shut everything down, and the government can just keep giving us checks. And then there's a lot of people that have moved to the camp of no, this is ridiculous. The cure is going to destroy more than the disease. And then you get a whole lot of other people that are in the third camp saying, wait a minute, look at the big picture. What is actually going on here? Not just destroying the economy and everything has ripple effects. You throw a stone into a pond and you've got ripples. Everything has ripple effects. You go and shut down restaurants, so now people aren't going out to eat, which granted hurts the economy, hurts the restaurants. There's a lot of small businesses that are permanently out of business. So much for shop local if you have no local to shop at. And then so you've got the businesses that are gone, you've got the family that are now in financial crisis. Their livelihood is now gone. And then back it up a little bit more from there, what about the supply? And people are talking about farmers dumping milk and crops being tilled under because there's nowhere for it to go. There's nobody to sell it to. Restaurants obviously go through a whole lot of food, and when you've got a whole industry geared up to provide that food and all of a sudden it's shut off, there's a big surplus that needs to be dealt with. And putting systems in place to be able to get that straight to consumers, to the people, is time consuming and lengthy. And a lot of stuff has a shelf life. If you're growing a whole lot of vegetables, you've got a shelf life. Now you have to figure out, how can you get that to the people? Farmers markets are shut down. Like, what do you do with massive quantities of food? And let's see if I manage to not miss my turn, maybe, because I need to get the supplies back to where the guys are working. You've got truckloads and truckloads of whatever it is. Food, crops, meat. The meat can't get processed because the meat processing plants are getting shut down. I'm hearing about meat processing plants that are employees are infected, and then they shut that plant down and they transfer the infected employees to other meat processing plants. That's a little odd. Not to say I'm skeptical, but if the shoe fits, it means something. There's a lot of stuff I haven't been talking about in a while because a lot of people don't want to listen to what's going on. So I've kept it to a small circle, and I might start sharing a little more because there's a whole lot more going on than most people want to talk about. There's a whole lot more going on. This big picture. You got to think big picture. So many people are still stuck on the small. Today, tomorrow, this week. It's like, what are we looking at on the big scene, the big picture of stuff, the global playing field, the global elites? What is going on? And yeah, sorry, I have to pay attention a little bit while driving. I mean, the roads are half empty still, but about the only time I have to do this kind of stuff is when I'm driving. And I know you guys get tired of looking at my ugly mug, but we'll try and do some stuff outside with nicer scenery sometimes. But for the moment, you get me. Back to paying attention to what's going on. There's so much more going on than we're being told. There always is. But when you start doing some research and looking at all the pieces, the puzzle pieces don't match. It doesn't fit together like we're being told it fits together. So I'll try not to go off on a tangent on any one thing too much. But would you have believed it if you were told 6 months ago this is what it would look like? Gas over here is $1.37 a gallon, which I haven't seen in 20-something years. Store shelves are still half empty. We're now being warned of food supply shortages officially. Meat supply, the supply chain is clearly breaking. Produce, can't get it out, can't get it to the people. So there's food, it just can't get to the people. Put the pieces together, start looking bigger picture, and we'll talk about this more later, but put the pieces together. There's a lot more going on than you guys are being told about, so I'll see you on the next one.